Disclaimer: the following video you are about to see is a paid-for sneak peek first look at the game Dungeon Defenders.2. While I am being paid to show you the game, the opinions and thoughts about said game are mine and mine alone and are not influenced by the video you're about to see. Thank you for your continued support. Over the course of many years, the Completionist and That One Video Gamer has become a successful channel to the point where companies have given us some amazing opportunities. You're about to see one of those chances where we're going to get a sneak peek at an upcoming game from a game company, either indie or AAA. So come along with us as we try to determine whether or not this early sneak peek look at a game can provide us enough information to make a decision about one thing: to believe or not to believe in the hype. Many years ago, before I started this YouTube channel, my friend Austin, better known as Peanut Butter Gamer, and myself used to play this game called Dungeon Defenders. We played it for hours on end. I was always a fan of tower defense maps made in StarCraft, and when I played Dungeon Defenders, it brought me back in. Developed by Trendy Games, the multiplayer tower defense action RPG saw incredible success, especially with several console releases. So naturally, a sequel had to be in the works. Announced in 2013 as a PC and PS4 console exclusive, Dungeon Defenders 2 aims to right the wrongs of its predecessor while adapting to the current trends of gaming for a brand new and well-defined experience. And the first one did have its fair share of problems: clunky controls with a bit of a learning curve, an immediate need to grind, and the loot and build system created some toxic games here and there. However, Dungeon Defenders 2 right away clearly aims to be moving upwards and onwards. In the land of Etheria, war has waged between its inhabitants and the evil beings known as the Old Ones. The people of the land sealed away the Old Ones in these crystals. This essentially was the plot of the first game. 5 years have passed since then, and in those 5 years, the crystals have been broken free of their seal, which have now let the Old Ones back out, and they're becoming more and more powerful. It's up to you and 3 friends to stop the evil from taking over the land. For those of you unaware of how to play Dungeon Defenders, it's one of the more simple online games out there. First, you gotta choose a character. The original game started with 4 and then expanded with several more later on, but the second one in its current alpha state has the original 4 yet again, with some more subtle changes. Lore-wise, these characters are the same from the last game. It's just 5 years since then. The 4 classes are the Squire, the Apprentice, the Huntress, and the Monk. The Squire and the Apprentice are more on the offensive side of battle, whereas the Monk and the Huntress are more defensive with their tower types. The point of the game is to get resources and build towers in the lanes to prevent the waves of enemies from getting to your cores. In between waves, you'll level up constantly, find gear all over the place, and more importantly, repair and upgrade all of your towers. So enough about how to play, let's talk about the immediate differences for the better. A big bummer with the first game was the need to grind in between missions. I'm happy to say this problem has been fixed. Usually, you'll need to replay the same levels over and over and over again, but in Dungeon Defenders 2, simply playing the campaign in order, unlocking things as they go, is enough. No need to replay the same levels again and again after hitting a gear or level wall. The same thing is true even after you finish the game's campaign. Everything opens up, so you're not fixated on playing the same map 4 or 5 times in a row. So when I was doing initial research for this video, I wanted to ask Trendy Games a few questions. They happily obliged to my requests. One big question I asked them was why the change to free-to-play. Their response was, Dungeon Defenders 2 is best experienced cooperatively with a group of friends. For the sequel, we wanted to remove all barriers to entry and allow friends to play with each other freely. Additionally, Dungeon Defenders 1 had a lot of DLC that included both costumes and content. For the sequel, we thought it would be better to only sell cosmetics and convenience items, inventory space, and so on, and instead release the content to everyone for free. Leveling in the game has been streamlined and is less stressful. Gone are the days of putting point into attributes. Rather, you level up and points are distributed automatically. When I brought up the leveling system, Trendy Games told us they were working on a new leveling system where you can choose to place your stat points yourself or let the game do it for you. This is actually pretty rad, as you can have your own customizable experience for any type of RPG in this, whether you're like an MMO player or if you're more on the dungeon crawler side of things. Dungeon Defenders 2 has a lot for you, where the customization motivation truly lies in the leveling system are spheres. You'll eventually get high enough level where you unlock sphere slots, and these spheres at first are just stat point increases. But when you hit the level cap, you'll get access to uber spheres, which drastically change what your towers can do. This kind of endgame progression is awesome and gives plenty of motivation to get the player going along into the endgame content. Who doesn't like getting rewards after doing something fun? Dungeon Defenders 2 gives you loot all the time. Well, most of the time in the early phases, it's garbage, but as you progress, the epics, the mythics, and the legendaries start dropping more and more, and suddenly you're swapping out new gear every few minutes. Now, for me, this is really awesome because your character advances as you do, and you don't want to get stuck with any sucky gear. However, I will say in this case, too much is sometimes bad. There's gear everywhere all the time, and the more people, the more gear. The nice thing about gear drop is that they're specific to each person, so you don't have to feel bad about picking everything up for yourself. And in the event that you forget to pick things up, you can set your bags to auto-collect for every round. This game for me is definitely something you'll want to play with friends. While in my general playthrough, I found that playing with strangers was alright, but I convinced a few friends to pick up the pre-alpha to play with me. This was definitely the right choice, as I had a lot more fun with my friends, communicating and working together to progress through each round of the maps. But then again, I feel like that's the case with every time you play with friends, so I guess that's not something new. We all chose different classes so we could share our different experiences as we were going along. My favorite class as of right now is the Squire, as it has the fun sword fighting tank style I love and generally is the easiest to pick up and play. The online connectivity is pretty good for the most part. Every now and then we had a few problems connecting, but the game loads so quickly for us that it was never really an issue. For this game being an alpha, it's pretty damn good. The only big buggy issue I ever really ran into involved enemies not leaving their bases sometimes. But if that's it, then the future's looking plenty bright for Dungeon Defenders 2. I easily sunk 40 hours plus into this video, and I'll probably sink another 40 later on for fun. When you beat the main story campaign, you'll unlock a ton of stuff. It's almost as if the game starts here rather than the end of the story mode. There's daily and monthly challenges to help you grow out your character. Certain tasks or missions can lead to unlocking some unique pets, armors, or spheres. You'll also unlock Onslaught mode, which essentially is endless mode. You know, try and stay alive as long as you can, one of my favorites personally. Incursions, which involves unique challenges with special drops, and Endgame, which features difficulties of Nightmare 1 through 6. This is for the extreme experts of Dungeon Defenders. It's really hard, but hey, maybe one day I'll get there myself. I think the strongest thing working for Dungeon Defenders 2 is that it does not require any previous knowledge of the first game to play it. The devs are working hard to integrate and listen to community feedback, with community streams and forum posts being constantly run and moderated. The game is free to play and is now open to the public in alpha as of today. And the microtransactions involved are only for costumes and bags, and don't involve any pay-to-win models, which is just how I like it. The leveling is more balanced, the loot is plentiful, and the endgame content is long-lasting. So does this game really reach that level of hype we were hoping for? I'm not really sure. I personally am really happy with all the changes I've seen, and the game I've been playing has been really fun. But ultimately, you guys can make the decision for yourselves. If you want to check out Dungeon Defenders 2, check out the link in the description below to sign up today. And yes, it's totally free. Also, be sure to check back next week when me and some of my friends will try and survive for as long as we can in a round of endless mode. Thank you guys for your time today. And hey, if you want some more coverage on Dungeon Defenders 2, check out some of my friends over here. We got PBG, Space Hamster, they're good dudes. Thanks for watching.